Okay, so I'm just going to say this straight off the bat. This is going to be one of my most unemployed videos you guys have ever watched, but I feel like it was just, I just got to talk about this. This was actually recommended to me from a member in my Discord server, so make sure to go join that up, link in the description. But yeah, it all starts here, right? There's this influencer who goes by the name of Hub's Life. Now, Hub's Life is not just an influencer, he's a lifestyle influencer. And he's a lifestyle influencer who shows off his daily routine, working a 9 to 5. Here's one of his videos. Day in the life of a guy with a 9 to 5. As you can see, pack up and head out for the day. That's one of his staples, slowly putting the MacBook inside the backpack. Senior analyst at a Fortune 500 company. He says he genuinely enjoys what he does. And y'all get the gist. Basically a lifestyle influencer showing off his daily routine. Whatever, right? That's cool. Now some people see his content as depressing. They see his lifestyle and they're like, God, no, I would never want to live like this. This man is stuck in the Matrix. This man is living in a simulation. Which I can understand. The music does make this very depressing. If the music was different, I feel like it'd be less depressing. Like imagine if this man had Passion Fruit by Drake in the background instead of this. The video would be more of a vibe, but that's besides the point. While many people do see his content as depressing, others found his content very refreshing. I mean, when everyone online is living this extraordinary life with Lambos, mansions, and all the finer things, he's over here living a pretty normal life with a 9 to 5 office job. That's 10 times more relatable than most styles of content. And he was also a huge advocate for this 9 to 5 lifestyle. In this video, you can see he says, normalize the 9 to 5 life. Social media portrays a false reality, where normal is associated with becoming financially free at age 20 and being your own boss, etc. What I'm saying is, it's okay to work a normal job and live a normal life. You can still be successful and still be happy. Which I agree with. I completely agree with that. I've said this many times on the channel before, but a lot of people see a 16-year-old with a Lambo and believe that they need to get that when they're 16, or maybe even younger, which is not true, because that's just very, very, very unrealistic. Don't get me wrong, it's possible, but that isn't normal, and that shouldn't be normalized, you know? And a lot of people think that they're behind in life because they're not the same level as that 16-year-old, but in reality, they're doing just fine. But here's another video where he says, so it turns out, you don't need to quit your job. You don't need to escape the Matrix, in quotes. And you don't need to be a millionaire by 30, either. Turns out, the grass is greener where you water it. Use your 9 to 5 to build the life you want. Now keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Use your 9 to 5 to build the life you want. But yeah, Hub's Life, he's a pretty big advocate for this 9 to 5 lifestyle, and in most of his videos on IG, I noticed he'll also use this hashtag, normalize the norm. And from him being relatable, he's garnered a pretty big audience on TikTok and Instagram. And he continued to create his content, you know, until he got to a point where he didn't need to work his job anymore, so he decided to quit. Last day at my 9 to 5. Yep, you read that right. Today marks the end of an era. I've been struggling for a while now. Imagine working a full-time job, filming that full-time job, editing and posting a video of that job every day for 700 plus days, and becoming a new dad on top of that. It starts to wear on you. You start to show up less in all facets of life. You start going through the motions in everything you do. You start forgetting why you started this in the first place. So I made this decision based on what's best for myself, my family, and you guys. Today I will be leaving my 9 to 5 to pursue a new kind of 9 to 5. A person often meets his destiny on the road he took to avoid it. It's a nice little quote right there. Now a lot of people did not take Hub's Life quitting very lightly. In the comments, you can see a lot of people in an uproar that he actually quit. You tried to sell us that it's okay to have a 9 to 5 job, and now you're leaving that life because you can escape from it and because of the social media opinions. So disappointing. This guy spends so much time trying to normalize and glorify the 9 to 5 only to get out of the 9 to 5. Moral of the story is working the 9 to 5 is okay, but the goal should always be to get out of the rat race. So as you can see, a lot of people are angry that he quit. Now you may be wondering, what is his new profession since he quit this 9 to 5 office job that he had? Well, it's being a full-time influencer. He still does his day-in-the-life videos, except they're less relatable to his audience. And people absolutely hate that. And people are also hating, as you can see, because he was this TikToker glorifying the 9 to 5 lifestyle and that normal life, saying it's completely fine to work, yet he ended up ultimately quitting his 9 to 5 job to becoming an influencer. And videos like this don't help his case at all. When you build a following big enough to leave your 9 to 5, but your content revolves around the 9 to 5, so you can't quit your job,
Awaken to a world of wonder in Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Read the caption, and in the caption it says, will you quit your job to do social media full time? I get this question all the time. The answer, no, I wouldn't quit my job to do this full time. I love my 9 to 5 as it provides health, insurance, steady income, 401k, structure, career growth, opportunities, etc. I enjoy the people I work with and genuinely like the work that I do. I've been making videos for a very long time as a hobby and passion of mine. I left the 9 to 5 years ago to pursue videography and social media full time for a startup company. I travel 2 to 3 weekends a month filming shows and content non-stop, while also filming and editing content throughout the week. Was making less money than I ever had and was working twice as hard. Got to the point of burnout and I started to lose the passion for video I always had. I realized that once my hobby, in quotes, became a job, it wasn't fun anymore. I ended up going back to corporate America and have never looked back. Taking the risk opened up my eyes to the beauty of having a good, stable job. There is something to be said for stability and routine. I started documenting my normal everyday life through this account to serve as my creative outlet to my mundane office job. And now, here we are. Moral of the story, you don't have to quit your job to pursue other passions. A 9 to 5 job is just a chapter in your story, not the entire book. Use a 9 to 5 to finance a life you truly want to live. Which I agree. I feel like your 9 to 5 should be used to finance a life you truly want to live. If that's what you want to do. Let's say you want to be a YouTuber. Hey, use your 9 to 5 to fund that YouTuber lifestyle. And then, when you can quit your 9 to 5 to live that YouTuber life, then do that. But in HubsLife's case, for at least this video, it's a bit contradicting when he's saying he wouldn't quit his full-time job and he loves his 9 to 5 and he genuinely likes the work that he does, then he ends up quitting. I can see why a lot of people are seeing it as a bit contradictory. Here's another video, why you should stick with your 9 to 5 job. Stability, benefits, job security, work/life balance, build steady wealth, low risk career development. But once again, he says, use your 9 to 5 as a foundation to help you build the life you want. Like, I understand people are mad that he quit his job, but at the same time, like, we can't sit here and act like there weren't any signs. I think what makes it bad, though, is that he built his whole brand on the motto of, like, normalizing the 9 to 5s. Yeah, he ended up quitting his 9 to 5. And the worst part is that he's now going live on TikTok and begging for galaxies.
That's in the galaxy, bro. I'm gonna get a galaxy, guys. Send me something and tell me to live in. I know this whole galaxy come through, man. I can't raise. You gotta send me a galaxy, bro. Sam, thank you for the first gift. Roses on deck. But I think roses are like, not a galaxy. I want to answer all these questions I really can right now. Sam, what's a galaxy, bro? I'll answer like 10 questions if it's a galaxy.
This man sounds like a crackhead fiending for crack. Yo, let me just get a galaxy. Bro, like, let me just get a galaxy. I'll do anything for a galaxy. There's also this rumor going around on TikTok where people think HubsLife rented out an office and continued to make his 9 to 5 videos, but during the research of this, I didn't find much proof of that, so I'm not going to say he did. I see a lot of people saying that he did on TikTok, and like, I feel like that's just crazy to say when there's no real proof of that. There's also this Reddit post I found where people think this drama surrounding his name is completely fake. Hot take, HubsLife created fake drama to grow his brand. Until the last couple of days, HubsLife views were plummeting. A lot of people turned their backs on him after he abandoned the 9 to 5 to do full-time content creation. Look at the number of views he was receiving a couple of weeks ago versus the views these last few days. His views now are almost comparable to the views he was getting when he worked his day job. He knew he needed to do something to fix it, so I'm fully convinced his stunt on TikTok was planned. He knew what would piss people off, and it worked. Views are up again, people are making videos about him, and talking about him. He's relevant again. People are engaging with his content more, albeit a lot of negative, but all press is good press. Just my thoughts. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is not a bad theory. This is not a bad theory. I think if that was his goal, to quit his 9 to 5 and get all this drama, I think that was a very good idea. But I wonder how this will work, let's say 3 months from now. Like, how do you keep this up? Because drama is quick, you know? People are on a drama, then they just move on, you know, to the next drama or next issue that's happening. So I wonder, if this were to be true, how would HubsLife carry this for the next, like, 2, 3, 4 months? or at least year. What's funny is people also think that HubsLife's wife is tired of him being a lifestyle influencer, or a full lifestyle influencer. The way his wife looks so fed up. You can see she's kind of giving that man like, oh nah, I do not want to be on camera right now. But hey, we got to take into account they're at an airport. Sometimes airports, you go there while you're tired. You're not trying to talk to anybody. You just want to get on that plane and get over to where you're headed. But here's my opinion on the whole situation, right? I understand why people are mad, but if I was in his position, I'd probably do the exact same thing, just a bit differently. Like at the end of the day, it seems like he quit his job to pursue his passion and be with his kid more. And I'm pretty sure many of us would do the exact same thing. But the major issue with HubsLife is that people followed him because he was the quote-unquote 9-to-5 guy. And now that he's not working his 9-to-5 anymore, he's not as relatable / interesting to his audience. The content that made him interesting was him working that mundane office job and him saying that it's okay to live a normal lifestyle. And now that that's gone, there's not really much of a reason for his audience to watch him. Even though he's still making the day in life videos, those are nowhere near close to being as relatable as the videos where he was waking up for his job, tired, yet still going to work. Because a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people are working a job that they don't like, and they have to get up for it every day to pay the bills. And they saw HubsLife as like, oh, this guy is just like me. But now HubsLife is this full-time influencer, and people don't relate to him anymore because he's not the 9-to-5er like he used to be. I don't mean for that to sound like a 9-to-5 is a bad thing, because I don't think 9-to-5s are bad. But y'all get my point. And what makes it even worse is that he's begging on TikTok Live, saying that's how he makes a living, which makes it seem like he quit his job just to beg. When in reality, he quit his job because content creation seems like it was his passion, and he also wanted to spend more time with his son. I feel like if this content wasn't so heavily focused on him working his 9-to-5 and saying it's okay to work a 9-to-5, no one would care that he even quit. What makes this situation so bad is that to his audience, it looks like he did a complete 180, and a lot of people just don't like that. What he should have done differently, in my opinion, is maybe find a new content style or series that works that wasn't so heavily focused on his 9-to-5. So when he quit, he could have still made that. But unfortunately, he didn't. And here he is now, getting a lot of hate for quitting his 9-to-5. But yeah, that's the unemployed news for the day. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. That being said, this is going to wrap up the video. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you. Twitch Cameron WAK, Instagram Cameron WAK, Twitter Cameron WAK, Discord link in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend you guys check out my most recent video. It'll be right up here on the screen. Thank you guys for watching. It's Cameron, and I'm out.